If you want more FIFA content from me, I'm now uploading exclusive videos to Patreon. The link for that is down below. And if you want to avoid the random lottery that is FIFA points, you can go straight to the source with u7buy.com. And of course, you can use the code TVM at checkout to get yourself a discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to take a look at a card that has been out for quite a while now. I would say maybe just over 2 weeks. Josh Sargent of Werder Bremen and the USA. Of course, he's available as a season objective. I picked him up because I was lacking a Bundesliga striker, and I knew I needed one for icon swap, so I chose him over the others available. Thorsby is the other one, probably mispronouncing his name, but I think he was available, right? Is he the Sampdoria player? Correct me if I'm wrong. He looked really good, actually, and I think he was the one. I think it was him. I'm really confused. Like the whole isolation thing. All the days are blurred. I have no idea what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what the date is. I couldn't tell you what is available and what's not available in FIFA anymore in terms of the objectives. But I think those were the available ones. There's another card in there as well, but those are the two that I was really considering. I went with Sargent on this account because I needed a striker. I didn't really intend on using him much outside of the icon swaps objectives, but he does have some fairly decent stats. Unfortunately, didn't really fit my playstyle too much in terms of his weak foot and skill moves. Only 3-star, 3-star. He does have high, medium work rates, which is really nice. He's 6'1", though, and that for this FIFA isn't amazing, because to be a quote-unquote meta player, which is not, I don't need every player I use to be meta, but obviously if they are, it helps you an awful lot play the game. But he's 6'1", and for that, I mean, you need to have like super high agility, balance, and pace to make him feel even remotely, not usable, but enjoyable, I guess, because unless you're a fan of him or the club that he plays for, there are a lot of cards like this in the game where you'll see them, they don't look too bad, but unless you're a fan of that player or the club or whatever it may be, you probably won't get on with him. And it's a very similar situation in this instance as well, because he does have 95 agility, he does have 93 acceleration, his finishing is very good on paper, he's extremely good in the air with 89 heading accuracy. He can't pass for toffee, but that is okay because he's a striker, and he's up from a 67 rated silver, so that's actually really good. But the problem with him is, of course, his height is going to make him feel less mobile. Now, with that being said, we've already touched on some of the really good stats. His positioning isn't too bad. His shot power is really nice. He's got reasonably good dribbling across the board, considering his height. 6'1" isn't that tall, but it's tall enough in FIFA 20 to make him feel, or potentially feel at least, like a tank. So just bear that in mind. The team I've got him in is, I did have Riquelme in the middle there, but obviously the games on him ran out, so I had to replace him. But apart from that, I mean, the team is actually a very good one. Jari Litmanen coming into the middle there. It's 10 Bundesliga players. I've since done the Bundesliga icon swaps, but I kept playing with him in particular because A, I wanted to review him, and B, there was something about him that I couldn't quite put my finger on, and I still can't quite put my finger on it. There's something there. This is going to sound really stupid, but I'll back it up straight away as soon as I say it so you don't think I'm really that dull. But he kind of reminds me of Alan Shearer. Now, wait, whoa. I know a lot of people are like, well, Alan Shearer's trash in this game. What are you talking about? I don't mean in the sense of the way that he plays. I just mean he's got fantastic positioning and finishing. This guy finishes everything. Now, of course, I've got a Marksman chem style on him. Was that intentional? Not really. The reason I put a Marksman chem style on him was purely because I wanted a chem style on him, and I didn't want to go and have to research it. I wasn't actually planning on doing a review, but there was one performance from him that made me stand up and take notice, and he scored like 4 goals in one game, and I just couldn't, well, maybe it wasn't 4, maybe it was like 3, but still, he scored a lot of goals in one game, he got involved an awful lot, and I couldn't ignore it. I thought, right, well, I have to now play on, and I have to see whether he's actually any good. The chem style I gave him, of course, the Marksman, was because I had an abundance of them in the club, and I just wanted him to have something, just a boost somewhere. And I thought, well, Marksman makes a little bit of sense because I don't feel like we need to boost the pace, really. And if we can get sort of 3 things hit out, then why not? You know, so we get a nice dribbling boost. The finishing basically goes to 99 across the, well, not across the board, but there or thereabouts. And his physicals get boosted as well, so he has a little bit more in the way of strength. he's a very well-rounded card, actually, because he's 6'1", you wouldn't expect him to be agile in the slightest. You know, you can pick on maybe one hand cards in the entire game that are above 6 foot who have high agility and pace. They just don't exist. You know, you've got a lot of players with height and a lot of players with height who have pace, but they don't have that agility to go with it. So it was a different combination, a nice combination. Now, with that being said, let's get down to nitty-gritty. Is he meta? No, I don't think he is, despite the fact that with the chem style he's got 99 agility, 93 acceleration, and he has really good strength in there as well. I don't think he is meta, and he's let down by his weak foot, and he's let down by his height. That's not to say that he's not usable, because I'm going to come back to it. Alan Shearer, in real life, was always in the right place at the right time. His finishing was second to none. He had insane shot power. He could shoot from distance. He could shoot close range. He was a goal-scoring machine. And that is exactly what Josh Sargent is in FIFA. Not talking about real life, talking about FIFA. Josh Sargent seems to be everywhere in this game. He always pops up in the right place at the right time, and his finishing is very, very good. He's clinical. That's the word I'm going to use. Now, I was reviewing Riquelme while using him, and I wasn't actually paying too much attention to him until he started scoring goals just time and time again, because he always seemed to be in the right place. And that's the whole thing, the whole reason why I decided to make this video. Now, of course, he's not without his faults. The 3-star is borderline unbearable. Now, I wouldn't say it's unusable. That's the wrong word. Unbearable. So it's frustrating. It gets on my nerves knowing that he can't do certain flicks, certain spins, certain turns, even though he has very high agility. He has pace. And even though he's 6'1", he's still able to maneuver quite well. Like, not to the point where we're going to use the word meta again, but he can maneuver quite well. And I did really enjoy that side of his game, the left stick dribble in particular. For a big lad, he is very, very capable of changing direction very quickly. The ball doesn't stick to his feet. It's not quite that good, but he can, and there's some evidence in the clips that you've seen so far. There is definitely something to be said about his dribbling ability. The ball does tend to stay in and around his proximity quite often. Like, you can sort of bundle your way through people, really, and the ball will stick to his foot. And he does have that added bonus of being 6'1" and having 82 strength with a chem style to make it so that people, they don't bounce off him necessarily, but if you have a less balance and you go into a challenge against Sargent, there is a very strong possibility that he's going to come out with the ball. And more often than not, he did. And in front of goal, he has an air of composure about him. Like, Sargent has 82 composure, but there is something about this card that has a little bit more in front of goal. He's more than capable of taking his time and making a decision and then just slotting it underneath the goalkeeper. I often try and do the Thierry Henry style of finishing, which is basically get in to goal, even if you're not really, if you don't have your body, it's going to be quite difficult for me to explain this, but even if the player's body isn't opened up to the sort of finesse shot, I like being able to try to do it. So with Sargent, you'd have seen on some occasions where he's through on goal, maybe he's a little bit too centered, but he somehow manages to open up his body, gets his right foot wrapped round the ball and puts it round the goalkeeper. Thierry Henry used to do it time and time again, and Sargent struck me as the kind of player who could do it, and he did on many an occasion, and you could slot in under the goalkeeper with ease. I was a massive fan of his ability to score goals. He was a prolific goal scorer. Now, like I said, it doesn't come without his negatives. His passing is absolutely shocking. Now, there is a argument to be made for a Deadeye chem style to be placed upon him. With the Deadeye chem style, of course, you do lose that dribbling ability across the board, and you will lose that physical boost. You still get, in fact, you get a better positioning boost, and I think you get, is it a better, slightly better shot power boost. But of course, you do get that passing really up there. Now, to me personally, I don't feel like it's that necessary. I would much rather have the extra agility, the strength, and just the know-how really of being able to hold up the ball. That strength combined with the height can be very, very valuable indeed. And I feel like that this card, for a free card, let's not forget, this card is free. You don't have to go out and spend 50, 60, 100k on this guy. Let's be honest, if he was on the market, he'd be 25, 30k. But you don't need to go and spend a ridiculous amount of coins to get him. All you need to do is play the game, and naturally you will unlock him. Now, maybe you've already unlocked him. Maybe you have him in the club and you haven't used him. Maybe you chose someone different, and in which case you've missed out here. But I'm sure you're enjoying one of the other cards. But I definitely think there's something to be said about this guy, especially seeing as how he helped me through the objective, to be honest. I don't know what I would have done in terms of a striker were it not for Sargent, because I didn't have a Bundesliga striker on this account in particular. On my other account, I got Timo Werner, wouldn't have been a problem. On this account, I don't have anyone who could have gone up front. Alessane Pla, maybe, but he doesn't really fit the game, and he doesn't do it for me. Sargent was fantastic. Even if I didn't feel like he was meta, or, sometimes I just didn't feel like he was doing much, he would always pop up with a goal. He would always cause the defence problems. So, just goes to show, you cannot judge a book by its cover, and sometimes you'll get cards like this that just surprise you. Let me know what you think of him in the comment section down below. Let me know which player you chose, if you've reached that far, of course. If you have enjoyed this player review, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index, the game changed. Download the app now.